It certainly draws attention with its unique design approach, but there are 7 problems with Kia Soul you must know before you sign anything. To be perfectly clear, this is still a good car, especially when you consider the price tag. Still, there are potential deal breakers that could make you change your mind. Let's check them out. Number 7. Single powertrain option, lackluster performance. The Soul is offering just one powertrain option across the entire range, and unfortunately, it's not particularly impressive. That lone engine is a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder that produces just 147 horsepower and 132 pound-feet of torque. To put this in perspective, this is the kind of power output you'd expect from a compact sedan from the early 2000s, not a modern crossover competing in today's market. The engine is paired with Kia's intelligent variable transmission, which is essentially a continuously variable transmission that tries to mimic traditional gear shifts. What makes this situation even more frustrating is that Kia actually offered a much more capable turbocharged 1.6-liter engine until recently. This turbocharged variant delivered 201 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque, transforming the Soul from a sluggish commuter into something that could actually hold its own on the highway. But that option disappeared after the 2022 model year, leaving buyers with no choice but to accept the underpowered base engine. The real-world impact of this power deficit becomes obvious the moment you try to merge onto a busy highway. With peak torque not arriving until 4,500 RPM, the Soul struggles to provide the immediate acceleration you need for confident highway driving. 0 to 60 miles per hour takes about 9 seconds, which feels even slower when you're trying to pass slower traffic on a 2-lane road. Meanwhile, competitors like the Subaru Crosstrek are offering significantly more capable powertrains. The Crosstrek's 2.5-liter engine delivers 180 horsepower and 178 pound-feet of torque, providing a much more confident and engaging driving experience. Number 6. Excessive wind and road noise. If you're planning to spend any significant time on the highway, the Soul's noise levels are going to drive you absolutely crazy. The distinctive boxy shape that gives the Soul its unique character also happens to be aerodynamically terrible, creating a constant symphony of wind noise at highway speeds. That upright windshield and squared-off roofline might maximize interior space, but they also turn the Soul into a rolling wind tunnel. Owners consistently report that highway driving becomes an exercise in endurance, with wind noise making normal conversation difficult at speeds above 65 miles per hour. One owner described the experience as feeling like the car is constantly fighting against the air, creating a whooshing sound that never stops. But wind noise is just part of the problem. Road noise is equally intrusive, with tire noise and road surface imperfections transmitting directly into the cabin. The Soul's sound insulation is clearly inadequate for modern standards, allowing every expansion joint, rough patch of asphalt, and tire interaction to become an audible distraction inside the vehicle. What's particularly telling is how many Soul owners resort to aftermarket solutions to address this problem. Online forums are filled with discussions about DIY sound deadening kits, with owners installing additional insulation in doors, floors, and even the roof to achieve the quiet cabin experience that should have come from the factory. Number 5. No all-wheel drive option. Here's a limitation that immediately eliminates the Soul from consideration for a huge portion of potential buyers. Unlike most of its competitors in the subcompact crossover segment, the Kia Soul is available exclusively with front-wheel drive. There's no all-wheel drive option available on any trim level at any price point. This decision becomes particularly puzzling when you consider that the Soul is marketed as a crossover SUV. Part of the appeal of choosing a crossover over a traditional sedan is the promise of better capability in challenging weather conditions. But without all-wheel drive, the Soul offers no advantage over a front-wheel drive sedan when roads get slippery. The competitive landscape makes this omission even more glaring. The Subaru Crosstrek comes standard with all-wheel drive across the entire lineup, making it a significantly more capable vehicle for drivers who face snow, ice, or heavy rain on a regular basis. The Hyundai Kona offers an available all-wheel drive system that transforms it into a much more versatile vehicle for year-round driving. Kia's decision to skip all-wheel drive also reveals something about the Soul's underlying architecture. The vehicle uses a non-independent rear suspension with a solid rear axle, which is a more basic and cost-effective design than the independent rear suspensions found on all-wheel drive equipped competitors. This means you're not just giving up all-weather capability, you're also accepting a less sophisticated suspension design that impacts ride quality and handling. Number 4. Base model lacks features. The Soul's attractive starting price is one of its most heavily marketed selling points, but that low number comes with some serious compromises. The base LX trim strips away so many features that it barely feels like a modern vehicle, forcing buyers to spend significantly more to get the equipment they actually want. That entry-level LX model comes with 16-inch steel wheels with plastic covers, manual front seats, and an 8-inch touchscreen. More importantly, it's missing critical safety technologies that are becoming standard across the industry. The base Soul lacks blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, and lane lane change assist, features that many competitors include even on their most basic trims. The technology shortcomings in the base model are equally frustrating. While it does include Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, the smaller 8-inch screen feels dated compared to the larger displays becoming standard in the segment. There's no wireless charging, no premium audio system, and no navigation, amenities that buyers increasingly expect even in affordable vehicles. To access the features that make the Soul competitive, you'll need to move up to the S or GT line trims, which can cost several $1,000s more than that attractive base price. The S trim adds the larger 10.25-inch touchscreen, push-button start, and those important safety technologies, but now you're looking at a price that's no longer the bargain it initially appeared to be. Number 3. Unrefined ride quality and handling. The Soul's ride quality reveals the compromises that come with its budget-focused positioning. While professional reviewers might describe the ride as firm and controlled, real-world owners tell a very different story about daily driving comfort. That solid rear axle directly impacts how the Soul handles road imperfections. Unlike vehicles with fully independent suspensions that allow each wheel to react individually to bumps and road irregularities, the Soul's rear axle connects both wheels, meaning impacts on one side affect the entire rear of the vehicle. Owners consistently describe the ride as harsh and unforgiving, particularly over broken pavement and expansion joints. One owner characterized their Soul as riding like a brick on wheels, while another noted that the suspension doesn't absorb anything unless you have 2 to 3 passengers to add weight and settle the ride. The handling characteristics present their own set of challenges. The Soul's tall, boxy profile makes it susceptible to crosswinds on the highway, requiring more steering input to maintain a straight line than you'd expect from a modern vehicle. The steering itself lacks the variable assistance that's becoming common in the segment, providing the same light effort whether you're parking or cruising at highway speeds. Number 2. Fuel economy. Here's where the Soul's efficiency story becomes surprisingly disappointing. With EPA ratings of 27 miles per gallon city, 33 miles per gallon highway, and 30 miles per gallon combined for most trims, the numbers look respectable on paper. But when you consider what the Soul gives up to achieve these figures, the efficiency becomes much less impressive. The Soul is a front-wheel drive only vehicle with a relatively lightweight body, 2 factors that should theoretically result in excellent fuel economy. However, that distinctive boxy shape that defines the Soul's character works directly against aerodynamic efficiency, particularly at highway speeds where fuel economy matters most. The competitive comparison reveals the Soul's efficiency shortcomings clearly. The Chevrolet Trax achieves 28 miles per gallon city, while the Hyundai Venue manages 30 miles per gallon city, both better than the Soul's 27 miles per gallon city rating. Even more telling is when you compare the Soul to all-wheel drive competitors like the Subaru Crosstrek, which achieves nearly identical fuel economy despite carrying the weight and mechanical drag of its all-wheel drive system. Number 1. Few reliability issues. The most concerning issue involves engine problems that have led to recalls and widespread owner complaints. Certain Soul models were recalled due to improperly heat-treated piston oil rings that can cause severe engine damage, unexpected stalling, and even fire risks if oil leaks onto hot exhaust components. This isn't a minor defect, but a serious safety concern that affected thousands of vehicles. Beyond the recall issues, owners report problems with engine knocking, excessive oil consumption, and premature engine wear. These problems can appear relatively early in the vehicle's life and often require expensive repairs that can approach the cost of a complete engine replacement. For a vehicle purchased primarily for its affordability, these potential repair costs represent a devastating financial blow. The transmission presents its own set of concerns. The transition to the continuously variable transmission for recent model years has brought reports of grinding, whining, and clunking sounds, with some cases resulting in complete transmission failure. CVT repairs are notoriously expensive, often requiring complete replacement rather than repair. What makes the reliability picture even more confusing is the conflicting information from different rating organizations. J.D. Power has given certain Soul model years high reliability ratings, while Consumer Reports has held opposing views on those same years. This inconsistency suggests that quality control has been unpredictable, making it difficult to know whether you're getting a reliable vehicle or a potential problem. But that's how things go with affordable cars. Every model comes with some compromises. Check out this video about the problems with Toyota Corolla Cross you must know, which you can now see on the screen. It may be one of the most rational choices in the segment, but it isn't without flaws.